back, my fellow travelers, and while it does not look like there's been any changes, there's been a couple. Just a month ago, I was looking this way and I realized that the roamer pad is not quite lined up 100%. Ever so slightly, towards 11 o'clock. I'm not going to fuck around with it. But again, there'd be something interesting where you could tell the machine, reference point, I want this thing lined up. Anywho. So, floor panels in place. Now I've added this because despite my efforts to hide wires just above the door, there's a blue streak all the way to the corner. Just the edge of the wire sticking out, but that's enough. And I will never understand that if they made cuboids, the cylindrical room, square room, deep water chamber, square deep water chamber, and the various corridors, all powered as long as they touch each other and there's a power source touching one of them somewhere, why they couldn't retrofit that into every last part. You put this guy down on the floor, you have a solar panel or something on the floor, and the garage door is automatically powered, and you have the switch here, and you move the switch one way or the other, and it tells the door to go up or down and restore. I mean, anybody who wants to really spend several minutes wire glitching at the door and sinking the switches into the wall, and the wire in the wall, can do it. I'm not going to stop it for them. I just rather not spend half an hour doing it just to find out, oops, I missed a step somewhere along the way, or I disconnected a wire by accident. And I did they were plugged into the vaults, and when I moved the vaults upstairs, I broke the connection because the vaults are a power source, storage container. So nothing different here. Nothing different here. Now this, I'm very pleased with. And yes, it is different in as much as it's now sunk into the wall. What I did is I free-placed a wall behind this wall, removed this wall, wire glitched it, that wall, removed that wall, put the original wall back in place, and the base of the table is a wall in, and therefore the whole table is closer to, so now it really looks like some sort of holographic painting. There is a minor difference outside. I did remove the large refiner and decided to just place it somewhere else. And besides, there's a certain symmetry of two mediums next to a large. So, yeah. It'd be intriguing if you could put like a couple steps just askew on their sides or leaning up against the wall, but we don't have any parts resembling that. I did remove a couple trees because, well, if people are coming out of here, trees in the way, it could be a problem. Not that there'd be any vehicles per se. Yeah, and one of those lights is the power source for the door. So I removed the roamer, it created a gap. I moved the tree over into the spot by the roamer and eventually decided just put the walls. I mean, now that the whole structure's there, I think it's a little bit redundant, but didn't feel like redoing the entire building. That's a sad tendency of history repeating itself, but Linder Hall is probably one of the most modified structures I've ever built. And here's the reason why there's those 1.5 times size parts outside. Now the funny thing is it's aimed at the floor, but it gives the illusion of being somewhat, oh, for fuck's sakes. Yeah, it's almost not worth using the option of converting the metal panels to stone unless you want terracotta, which you can't have otherwise, sections. But hey, I've recolored them, as you can well see from the choice. And it's so frustrating. I was so freaking happy with how all my efforts have turned out, despite the small setback with the garage door leading out of the back of the building, which quote-unquote replaces the emergency exit that was in the storage room behind bar, and, you know, fills a space that was created by removing the large refiner. And then this sort of stuff happens. Oh yeah, by the way, I color coded these motherfuckers. Yeah, you can't put him against the wall. It would, for some reason, it didn't want to marry with the wall, so the whole frame was sticking out in the kitchen. So. But again, it's like, how hard can it be to have a part that is the width of the column of the arch that you could use a second or third floor, you know, to make a tall arch? It's not hard at all. You just have to want to do it. Because after all, they did how many parts? And while some of them are just a variation over stuff that we had, some not so much, some are rather different. So if they're able to do that, they should be able to do the equivalent of one of these guys, but arranged vertical instead of horizontal. You could, you know, put one right in the space underneath the light. Likewise on the other side, put an arch on the top part, and off, you know, Bob's your uncle. Not sure where the green light's coming from, but that is my signal to go. Farewell, my fellow travelers.
This is the end, beautiful friend.